Henderson, Bama football on YouTube. This is the college football playoff selection show that we are hosting right here on Bama football on YouTube. And I promise you, as soon as we have the official college football playoff bracket, we will post that right here on the YouTube channel. Over the next hour, as we wait for ESPN to reveal the playoffs, we will show you a detailed description of where Alabama sits resume-wise. Probably take some calls. So if you want to call in and kind of sound off on Alabama following last night, you want to talk their playoff chances, we will have space for that as well. I'm going to go over a couple points, and I think it's clear today that Alabama is a bubble team going against Notre Dame and against Miami. So just in, as this is hot, okay? The AP Top 25 was just released, okay? Literally before we started the show. So I'm bringing that to the screen, and good morning to everybody inside the comment box. I appreciate y'all. Hope you are able to get some good sleep. I know last night wasn't the best situation for Alabama football fans, but I think, and as you kind of see, and if you listen to Wake Up Bama, you heard a little bit of my explanation in terms of why I still feel optimistic about Alabama making the college football playoffs. Now, with that said, I am realistic, and I do look to how Alabama played last night. They didn't play like a playoff team. So you kind of, are you judging the team how they played last night? Are you judging them how they played collectively? So we're going to dive into it, and I appreciate you guys being here right inside the comment box. I appreciate all the super chats. You guys get inside the comment box. And my question for you, as we get the show started, what is your confidence? Maybe we can get a poll started as well. What is your confidence that Alabama makes the playoffs? High, mid, low. What is your confidence level that Alabama makes the playoffs? Go ahead and sound off inside the comment box while I go over the latest AP Top 25 that just came out, okay? And the college football playoff bracket will be released on ESPN. We will show you the full graphic when it comes out here later on in the next hour, okay? The AP poll is out following the conference championship Saturday games, and it was Indiana who defeated Ohio State. Did you all watch that game? Yo, I'm going to talk about a little Indiana football, man. You know, I've been impressed with them. And, you know, one thing that I noticed with both Indiana and Ohio State, and do you agree with me inside the comment box? I feel like both Indiana and Ohio State can challenge teams vertically. And what I mean by that is you have a quarterback that's able to hit downfield passes. You call me crazy. Look, I want to be honest with you, okay? That's my job. Are Indiana's wide receivers better than Alabama's? I'm serious, okay? These wide receivers are balling. And Ohio State has some really good ones too. And they can challenge vertically. You know, how many times do we see these guys in a game like this going against two good defenses challenge vertically? And that's something that Alabama is going to have to figure out down the road if they really want to make a run at this thing should they make the playoffs, right? So Indiana, 13-0. I saw a stat. Signetti at Indiana, 24-2 in the past 2 seasons, 24-2, and finishes out 13-0, winning the Big Ten. Yo, I have to look it up. Is that the first time they've ever won the Big Ten? Maybe. Georgia, after dominating Alabama last night, 28-7. Let's call it what it was. Can't beat around the bush and be like, yo, the game was close at one point. Was it? No, I don't think it was. It's like Georgia controlled that game. And that's just how it was, all right? Sometimes you take it on the chin, and there's no, like, moral victory saying, well, you know, we had this time, and it was close at this point in time. No. Like, you got beat handily last night, okay? Ohio State is a number 3 team, 12-1. This is actually how I have my predictions, which I'll show, by the way. You have Texas Tech, pretty good football team. Okay, my other question inside the comment box, would Alabama beat Texas Tech if they played yesterday? Right? I don't know. Texas Tech looked pretty good. Very fast defense. You have Oregon, who's at 5. You have Ole Miss at 6. And by the way, if you're coming in here and you're freaking out, this is the AP Top 25. Okay, the college football playoff rankings will be released in the next hour, I'm thinking. So I'll be live throughout the whole time. I'm going to walk you all through it. So I promise you, when the actual bracket is released, I'll show that in its entirety. Number 8 is Oklahoma. Number 9, and this is updated literally just this morning. Notre Dame, this is interesting. So Notre Dame, they're at 9. Miami goes up 2 spots in the AP. 2 spots in the AP. And they jumped Alabama, who goes down 1 from 10 to 11, and then BYU. So the way that the AP saw it yesterday is, did they penalize the 2 teams that lost in the conference championship game? Yes. In the AP, okay? Does the AP have anything to do with the college football playoff rankings? It's not part of their principles, but I would imagine that they're human like us, and they're looking at the AP rankings, and this is the Associated Press, okay? So Alabama, 11. And these, again, I'll walk you through the principles, and I spent a good time this morning explaining the college football principles, and that'll come up here in just a minute, okay? I promise you. Because if you have some anxiety right now, I think when I kind of go over, everything in its entirety, you'll feel a little bit better, right? And I know yesterday wasn't what you wanted. And I thought kind of the way that they lost wasn't what we needed, right? Like I felt like even if Alabama lost, depending on the score outcome, that's kind of what you would be judged by. But let's stay on positive side and let's kind of look at the factual information. All right. And by the way, the poll is reading 49% have a mid feeling about confidence. Yeah. So like coin flip. Right. And then 25% say hi. All right. And then we have a super chat. Hey, what's up, Jay-Z? It says Texas Tech has played 0 good teams. Bama would win 31-14. I love the optimism. I still have a bad taste in my mouth from yesterday, so it's hard for me to like fully agree with you. That defense is really good, and Texas Tech was a lot better than I thought they would be. It's crazy to think that like Texas Tech is here at this point in time. I don't know. Let's go to the undefeated for this. Undefeated, that's the comment box. Who wins, Texas Tech or Bama? I would imagine that everybody's saying Texas Tech this morning because of like the hangover. I might be able to answer better on Wednesday. I slept the last night's loss off, and I feel better today, but still. All right, so look, the questions about Bama that I have right now, by the way, thanks for the super chat. Patriot Life, and there was a super chat as well. I said this earlier. Grubb used to use the same MO he did against Georgia in the season, and Kirby was ready for it. No originality or schemes or adjustments. 0 adjustments. Patriot Life. 0 adjustments. I thought that this team would have done something different in the second half. They didn't. Let's dive into this real quick. And thanks for the super chats early on. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Okay. And I promise you might look at this right now and you're like, oh my goodness, I'm stressed out. Let's walk through the facts, and then I'm going to show you the principles. And when going over the principles, you'll feel a lot better. All right. And hey, Brandon, thank you so much. I really appreciate it, man. Thank you very much. Okay, so they did not look like a playoff team last night. They didn't, okay? And I fully understand who they played. But if you really want to make a run at this thing, you have to play better than what they did. I think a lot of people are going to point to Alabama's injuries. That's like us pointing to the fact that, like, you had injuries the last time Georgia beat you. Georgia beat Alabama straight up. I don't even think, like, if you had Josh Cuevas, if you had Jam Miller, would it have been a little bit closer? Probably. But Georgia played a better game. And I think that Alabama right now is not playing like a playoff team right now. Have they as a whole? Well, yeah, we're going to look at it. But last night, they didn't look like a playoff team. Did they look like a playoff team against Auburn? Honestly. Ask yourself that. Think about this. Did you know that Alabama is 1-2 against the last 3 SEC teams that they have played? Right? They lost against Oklahoma. They beat Auburn. And then they lost against Georgia. Now, 2 of those teams are playoff teams, right? But still, those are the facts. And I think a lot of it comes down to right here is Ty Simpson play. And I don't want people to be so scared to talk about the quarterback position, right? And like when we talk about the quarterback, nobody is dogging the guy personally. The guy is a professional athlete, just like Patrick Mahomes, just like C.J. Stroud, just like Brock Purdy. Ty Simpson is being paid by everybody that watches Alabama football, that supports Alabama football. He's got $1 million contract, probably more, right? So he's a professional, okay? Is he a really good person? Yes. We love Ty. We love his leadership, all that stuff. But his on the field play has stunk lately, okay? And we have a right as fans, right? People support the program to say that. He's stunk. And you're like, well, Kyle, you could say that, but can you show me some stats? Nah, this is just my opinion. I'm mad, so I'm saying he stunk. No, come on. You know I'm more prepared than that. Look at me. I'm in a blazer on a Sunday. You know what I'm saying? So look at this graphic. Yo, viewer discretion is advised. Yo, check this out, okay? So what I'm going to, there's a green and red. If you know anything about New Mexico, that's the state's question. Green or red chili. So in this case, all right, green is good and red is bad. Okay, so this is Ty Simpson's passing tree. And Jay-Z, I appreciate the super chat. I'll come back to you in just a second. Okay, so because I know the biggest question is like, what the hell happened to Ty Simpson? Right? I saw AL.com has an article about it. ESPN's talking about everybody. So I was thinking about it. I was like, okay, let me look at the stats. I'm a very analytical person, right? So I can use my eyes, but I can also look at the stats. And this green box, look at it, okay? And so let me explain it. The green box is when Ty was cooking, right? And these little red indicators, those are blemishes, right? That could be like game-changing blemishes, have a real impact on the game's outcome. And the red is where he's really been the last, 6 games, okay? So 7 games up top and the last 6 games. Now, as you can see when we're in this green box, this is making sense to everybody? He was cooking, right? Look, Vanderbilt, he did throw an interception, but he still was, 23 of 31, 340 yards. He was sacked 4 times, but he had 340, okay? Even against Missouri on the road, 23 of 31, 200 yards, sacked 4 times, but they were able to pull out the W, right? Even against Tennessee, I mean, he was 65%. 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, right? And here, but when we entered the kind of this red zone, something happened. Something happened right here. Because look at this. You start to look at the blemishes started to increase. Was it the better defenses? I know South Carolina had a pretty good defense, so did Oklahoma. Shoot, even LSU. Right? Auburn and Georgia. So all these defenses right here, you could argue that they were better, I guess. But look at the blemishes now. You had 2 losses over here, 55% against South Carolina, 60% against LSU, 54% against Auburn, 48% against Georgia. 1 interception against Oklahoma, costly. 2 interceptions against Eastern Illinois. We know one of them, was just a Hail Mary. And then one yesterday against Georgia. You know what? To be 100% honest with you, fam, he could have threw 2 interceptions against Auburn, and he could have thrown another interception yesterday. Could have been a pick 6. And then you look at the sacks over here. He's been sacked 10 times against the last 3 SEC opponents that they've played. Okay? So just kind of some data to back up the fact that Ty Simpson hasn't been on his game in the last 6. Do you agree with me? And then you're like, well, why? Is it not being able to handle the pressure, coming from the defense? Is it the offensive line? You could also argue, and tell me if I'm wrong on this. He had a crazy play yesterday where he outran everybody and then he threw it. And then Jerry Bernard dropped it because it was barely tipped. Ryan Williams, did you see that drop that he had? He might need to be sponsored by, I don't know, Greasy Hands or something. No, the barbershop. All right. Okay. Couple more, and then we're going to look at the playoff principles. All right. And then at 11, that's when the college football playoff show starts. So just kind of warming you up, talking factual information, and then I'm going to go over the college football principles, which I promise you're going to like. Okay. The offense hasn't matched the defense, right? The defense has been playing incredible. And I know last night there was some times they looked tired. They kind of, maybe a little bit banged up or whatever. But the offense has not matched the defense. If they did, this team could make a real run at this entire thing. I promise you. Right? Hey, Ben, well, that Greasy Hands barbershop. It's like, oh, man, that sucked. They're 1-2 against SEC teams in the last 3. They lost by 3 touchdowns against Georgia. And then they had, how about this? They had -3 yards against Georgia rushing. Remember when Hunter Yurachek was like, you guys got to run the ball? Bama was like, no, we don't. We're going to run for negative yardage. And I get it. A lot of that was because Ty was sacked, which goes against your rushing yardage. But still, Alabama hasn't been able to run the ball. So now you're probably like, well, what the hell, Kyle? Why are you so optimistic about Alabama making the playoffs? Well, let me tell you. All right. And I think we had a super chat come in. So Jay-Z says this. The fact that the game got away from us early with the blocked punt and an INT, that was 14 points, 100%. The defense did great. Parker needs rest. Also, this is Kiltack. Kiltack, what's up, man? Is this your burner account? Like, what's happening, man? I appreciate you. Good to see you, bro. 87 Day, what's up, man? Should have benched Ty. A lot of people were talking about that. And I do feel, even during the game, I was one of them. You know how sometimes, like, you ever watch The Simpsons where everybody's just like, yeah, let's attack them. But then when I slowed down, I realized that if you bench Ty, that would have been like the most desperate thing to do. And the committee would have been like, benched quarterback. They're not playing well. But if the committee is smart, all they do is they look at this chart and they see that, that Ty's not playing well. I think everybody can see it with eyeballs. Okay. Fam, as you know, this video is powered by our friends at Sleeper. You download the app, you can just get $20. You have time right now to download the app and make some NFL picks, more or less. Who's going to throw for what. The promo code is tailgate. Get a $100 deposit match up to $100. All right. So they support me just like you guys. So definitely support them. Hunter Yurachek said this, and we're going to go to the playoff principles in just a second. But these were a couple things that he said, like in the last couple times he spoke. What do you guys think about Hunter Yurachek? Sound off inside the comment box. Good guy or bad guy? He said this the last time. The debate between Alabama and Notre Dame has been one of the strongest in the past 2 years. Alabama went on the road and had a strong win in a rivalry game against Auburn, right? That was enough to change our minds. So what about this game? Was that enough to change their minds again with Alabama, how they played as a team? Because this guy also said that the conference championship game would provide one more data point for the for the committee to look at. Can you believe this? That we have like a group of people, they're like having coffee, maybe some yogurt, whatever, and they're going into a room and they're going to decide like the fate of the world. Like, there's no other sport that this happens in. It's so weird. Hunter Yurachek also said this last week. Idle teams, Notre Dame and Miami, who were at the Bahamas last week on vacation, can move up following the conference championship game, meaning Miami or Notre Dame, who are on vacation, can move up or down on teams not playing in conference championship games. Isn't that weird? So these teams who are chilling, they can get promoted for chilling. Who's the last person to get promoted when going on a vacation? No, I'm serious. Does that happen? You want to hear something wild that I was thinking about last night? Check this out. All right, this wasn't even on my sheets. I don't even know if people have brought this up, okay? Tulane and James Madison getting in is ridiculous. Okay, yeah, 100% I agree. But check this out. How weird, do you want to know how weird college football is? Tulane's head football coach, John Summerall, is coaching Tulane. He's also the new head football coach at Florida, okay? How he's managing this, who the hell knows, okay? Florida fired Billy Napier, okay? Billy Napier was the former coach at Florida, okay? He's going to be the head football coach at James Madison. Do you see how weird that is? Oh, my God. College football is weird. This is scary, what this guy also had to say. This was many weeks ago. Hunter Yurachek, once Alabama picked up its second loss to Florida State, that became the defining piece of comparison, especially when stacking them against Notre Dame or Oklahoma. Could this be the defining piece against Notre Dame and Miami? No, I'm serious. Think about this. Like when Alabama picked up its second. What about this? When Alabama picked up its third loss, the Florida State became a defining piece comparison, especially when stacked to them against Notre Dame and Oklahoma. That's an old quote. He could just refresh his quote. Okay, now we're getting to the principles. I'm telling you, you're going to like this. This is where we start to feel a little bit better, okay? 10 a.m., is it mimosas? Too early? What's a suitable time for a mimosa? 10. Been told 10 a.m. Bama's resume, 10-3, 7-1 in SEC play, right? In regular SEC play. But they are 7-2 overall because they did lose in the conference championship game, okay? They finished out as the number 1 seed in the SEC. Can we agree on this, fam? Would you say this? Is the SEC the toughest conference, top to bottom? Yes or no? MHS says Bama's strength of schedule is 8. Well, when I put this out, it said 11, but I'm happy to put it at 8. Yeah, thank you for the updated information. 4 wins against top 25 teams. The strength of schedule is 8, which is up from 11, when I cut the graphic this morning. 7-3 against teams in the top 35, okay? A team built on elite defense, okay? They lost to unranked Florida State. Florida State, by the way, will be relegated, right? They'll be playing Division II football this next year. Just kidding. Too early for jokes. All right. Oklahoma, they lost to, and they lost to Georgia, okay? But you know what? They also have a win over the SEC champion. How weird is that? Is that strange? Alabama's the only team to beat the SEC champ. That's true. All right, this is the old bracket. This is Tuesday night. So if you're seeing this, this is the old bracket, okay? This is where the teams were ranked. And they left these 2 spots open, 12 and 11, which should be now Tulane and James Madison. I'll show you my full prediction in just a minute. But this is last week, okay? So they had Alabama on the road against Oklahoma. Okay? Let's go over the college football playoff principles, right? We're talking playoffs. Playoffs? And I know you're like, principles, F this. You want to see like they lost last night, they're done. Well, let's go off the principles. You're like, well, what are the principles, Kyle? Let me explain them to you, okay? Just relax. The 5 highest ranked conference champs, okay? The next 7 highest ranked teams. Strength of schedule, head-to-head competition, comparative outcomes of common opponents, other relevant factors such as unavailability of key players, and coaches that may have affected a team's performance, during the season or likely will affect its postseason performance. That's pretty big at the bottom, okay? So now, with that said, let's go over the first principle, okay? Just to make sure we have them straight. Oh, I guess I have a social media reaction real quick. This is from Pate. He says, they aren't putting 4 teams in and not the number 1 seed that played in the conference title. It defies the purpose of the game. Alabama will be in. That's from Pate. Transfer Portal says Alabama now has a win over the SEC champion, as I just pointed out. Kevin Skarbinski says, want more? Alabama top 35 team in FPI, right? 10 of their 13 opponents, 77%. They have a record of 7-3 against top 35 teams. Miami, record of 2-2 against top 35 teams, and Notre Dame against top 35 teams, 1-2. Okay. Damian Harris wants Alabama out, right? Maybe that's because he's mad because Alabama didn't run the ball. I don't know. He's doing really good, Damian Harris. Good to see him out there. All right, so here we get to the nitty-gritty. Okay, so the first thing is that you have to understand is you have to take the 5 highest ranked champs, okay? I brought back my locks and my bubble gum. The bubble gum represents the teams that are bubble teams today. The locks represent teams that are locked into the playoffs. And this little trophy indicates that the team has won a conference championship game, okay? So Indiana, they're a lock, and they won a conference championship game. They're in, based off the principles. So is Georgia, because they won the SEC, right? Then Texas Tech. That's 3 teams. We need 2 more, okay? Well, what about Virginia? No, Virginia lost. Well, what about Duke? Well, Duke is not ranked, okay? And then you go over here, and you have to go all the way to Tulane. Tulane won a conference champion, right? So they're in. And then James Madison, that means 5, Okay. So those are our 5 highest ranked conference champions. Does that make sense? No. But those are the facts. Okay. So we have 5 teams. So 5 plus what is 12? 7. Okay. Say it again. 7. So now we look at our bubblegum teams. And these are the teams that it comes down to today. All right. Now, I screened this last night when the game was taking place. I guess that Alabama's strength of schedule has moved from 11 to 8. But this is kind of a comparison of the teams. Right. But this isn't enough. So let me kind of go further into the college football playoff principles, and then I'll bring this graphic up. Okay. The next point of the college football principles, we already did highest 5, right? Ranked conference champions. Is this making sense? My whole goal is to make sure you understand this, because not a lot of people talk about the principles. They just put out the rankings and then you're like, well, why? Okay, so we're right here. Point 2, the next 7 highest ranked teams. Okay. The next 5 highest ranked teams, okay, Indiana, Georgia, Texas, Tulane, or these are our conference champs. But the next highest ranked teams are these teams: Ohio State, Oregon, Ole Miss, Texas A&M, Oklahoma, and then Bama, Miami, or Notre Dame. Bama, Miami, Notre Dame, right? We really just have 2 bubble spots. Does that make sense to everybody? Okay. You see what I'm saying? So we have our 5 champs, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then our 7 at large: Ohio State, Oregon, Ole Miss, A&M, Oklahoma, Alabama, Notre Dame, Miami. 2 of these bubble teams get in today. Who is it going to be? And that's kind of where we're at, is comparing Alabama, Notre Dame, and Miami. Okay? Those are the 3 teams. All these other teams that are down here, Texas has no shot, Vanderbilt has no shot. All these other teams, they don't. Okay? They're playing in the Duke's Mayo Bowl or going out to El Paso to play in the Sun Bowl. Okay? The Cheez-It Bowl, New Mexico Bowl. All right, so the next point is the strength of schedule. And as Kevin Skarbinski has pointed out, Alabama has a much tougher strength of schedule, right? They have a much better record against top 35 opponents. 7-3, right? Miami 2-2, and Notre Dame 1-2. Okay. The next point right here is college football playoff principles. We went through 5 highest ranked teams, next 7 highest ranked teams, strength of schedule. How about head to head? Okay. Head to head. Alabama did not play Notre Dame or Miami. But, and this is the one thing that I still don't understand, fam. How do we forget this? Miami beat Notre Dame straight up 27-24. That happened. Oh, well, it happened in August. It doesn't matter. It doesn't? Well, then neither does Alabama getting their teeth kicked in by Florida State, because that was also way back then. But so head-to-head, part of the equation as well. We'll keep going, Kyle. How about comparative outcomes? Well, there wasn't a lot of comparative outcomes between Miami, Notre Dame, and Alabama, but there was this one. Miami beat Florida State 28-22, and Florida State beat Bama 31-17. So Miami really, they beat Notre Dame head-to-head, and they have a comparative outcome right here. Okay? Now we go to this last portion right here. Other relative factors, such as unavailability of key players and coaches that may have affected a team's performance during the season or will likely affect the team in the postseason. Well, look at for Alabama. All these guys are out. Cam Dewberry, Kelby Collins, or expected to be better by the next time that Alabama plays. Cam Dewberry, Kelby Collins, Daniel Hill, Jeremy Bernard, Xavier Brown, Dejon Lee, Geno Vandermark, Justin Jefferson, Parker Brailsford, Quay Rusa. I felt listening to, when Coach Caitlin DeBoer was talking about this, I get it. He's pointing to the fact that they're going to be a better team. But I felt like I was like, yeah, but you got enough guys to be able to play better than that. You have more players that you should be able to execute better than that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, and Brett McMurphy, he has, for whatever reason, this guy has access to early bracket, and he's already saying that Bama's in, right? Yeah. Yeah, I believe it. I mean, he leaked the bracket last year, so I totally believe it. And why I'm going to go to it, and we can get some updated FanDuel odds. But right here, this is the summary, okay? Alabama, top 35, the record 7-3, right? Notre Dame, top 35, record 1-2. Miami, top 35 record 2-2, okay? Bama has the edge. Strength of schedule, this should be updated to 8. Notre Dame 42, Miami 44. Edge, Alabama again. They already have 2 factors, okay? This is head-to-head. Alabama didn't play either. Notre Dame lost to Miami. Miami beat Notre Dame. And then the last one I just threw in there is odds, okay? So minus 310, odds 1,500 for Notre Dame, and then odds for Miami plus 160. So I think if you look to the summary, yeah. Did Bama play like a playoff team yesterday? No. Have they been trending in the right direction? Not necessarily, but this is a playoff team. Hater to love it, all right? So overall, I feel that this is my bracket prediction right here. And let me know what you guys think about it inside the comment box. This is my final prediction. Okay. And again, the playoff bracket, I'm going to take some calls here in a minute from you guys who want to call in about the playoff bracket. But this is my bracket. And I'll go through from the left where it has the numbers all the way to and talk about the bracket real quick. So I got Indiana at number 1 after beating Ohio State. I got Georgia at number 2. I got Ohio State 3, then Texas Tech, Oregon, Ole Miss, A&M, Oklahoma, Notre Dame, Bama, Tulane, and James Madison. First round matchups, I have James Madison taking on Oregon. I have Notre Dame traveling to take on Oklahoma in Norman. I have Tulane traveling to take on Ole Miss. That's an easy route. Shoot. And then I have Bama on the road at College Station taking on Texas A&M. Okay. Now, what's interesting about this matchup, now I'm sure you can see down here at the comment box, this is actually, look, if Bama does, this isn't the official bracket, by the way, but I think everyone that has like leaked the bracket feels that this is probably what it looks like. Is this what it looks like on the leaked brackets? I bet ESPN is so pissed. But the thing about this one, okay, let's say Alabama somehow gets its act together, okay? And they can, the offense can somehow match the defense. Call me crazy again, but I like Bama against Texas A&M. A&M didn't play anybody this year. Nobody, okay? I had them on fraud alert for a long time. So I actually like Bama in this game, but the crazy thing is, look who they would play in the quarterfinals. They would play Georgia, which is crazy. But see, so these games right here, these are not at the host site of like Texas Tech, Indiana. These are bowl games, and I don't know which bowl game it would be. I think it's going to be absolutely hilarious if this game right here, if they're hosting at the Mercedes Stadium. Can you imagine round 3 over here? And what if these two teams play and you have like a backup quarterback? You can imagine, you can already see the script. A backup quarterback comes in here and beats Georgia. We've seen this before. Backup quarterback Tua, backup quarterback Jalen Hurts, backup, you know what I'm saying? So this is my bracket. So I have Bama at 10. And do we have updated FanDuel odds? Let's see if we can look at them. I'll try to look up on the other side, FanDuel. Because they had their odds have been changing like crazy. So I'm on the other side looking at these odds real fast. And then I'll take you guys' calls, and then we'll kind of work into the college football playoff rankings. All right, so let's see. Yeah, this is weird. This already has Is this crazy? Why does this already have Alabama? Okay, I don't know what's happening here. Because it has Alabama. All right. It had Alabama playing Texas A&M. This is crazy. Does FanDuel already know the bracket? Yeah, it's weird. So, hey, fam, this is crazy. Watch, I'll show you guys this. So, I'm over here on FanDuel, right? And I'll see if you guys can zoom it in. And I'm clicking NCAA football, right? Can you guys see that? This is the first. I haven't showed this to you guys yet on the screen, but I clicked NCAA football. Do you see this? Because there's a lot of people saying that the bracket is leaked. I don't know, but FanDuel is a place that I go for research, just to look up stuff. Right? It has Army Notre Dame, but then if you scroll down, look what it has. It has Alabama taking on Texas A&M, and it has A&M as a 4.5-point favorite in that game, and it also has Notre Dame taking on Oklahoma. It has James Madison. That's our 12-5 game. Oh, yeah, so the bracket's working out exactly like I thought. Yeah, and then Tulane Ole Miss. So that, has the bracket been leaked? Angel thinks that inside the comment box that Tulane and JMU, I don't know about that, but I think that you look at most of the other teams that played last night. I mean, outside of BYU, who Alabama would have beat? I don't know. I think they'd struggle with Texas Tech. I think that just wasn't their day. They didn't look good at all yesterday. So I don't know. I mean, if you're going off FanDuel, then clearly the bracket, I'll go full screen so you guys can see this a little bit tighter. Okay, so FanDuel has it like this. They have Alabama taking on A&M. They have Notre Dame taking on Oklahoma. It's basically my exact bracket. Let's see if I can pull up the bracket side by side. Yeah, it's the exact same. So they have James Madison as a 12, Oregon as a 5, Notre Dame as a 9. Yeah, this is the exact bracket. Wow, it's crazy. I got it right. All right, let's take a breather and let's take some calls. All right, if you want to call in, it's 205. It's 850-1994. These are kind of some trending topics, and mind you, it sounds like they leaked the bracket, to be honest. It sounds like Alabama's in. So these are the trending topics. We have in or out about last night, college football playoff rankings, right? Thoughts on Ty, thoughts on DeBoer, and thoughts on Ryan Grubb. Okay. Let's see. We go to the phone lines, and the phone line's open. It's 205-850-1994. We got Tim. Actually, we're going to do Chris. Chris is our natural leadoff batter. All right, Timothy, we're putting you at the 2 spot. Chris, what's up, buddy?
Whoa, well, I'm a little hungover because I was drowning my sorrows last night. I'm going to say that. I would just say the biggest thing I have to say is just disappointed. You know, was it Ty? Was it our offensive line? Was it Grubb? I mean, if I'm going to put some blame, you know, obviously, you know, Kyle, I've been singing Ty Simpson's praises all year. But, I mean, you know, all the checkdowns, does that not help? It's not obviously it's not working. But, you know, where's all these, like, help from, like, Grubb, like, with, like screen passes or, I mean, I don't know, Kyle. Am I like way off by saying that Grubb has just, you want to talk about, you know, has fallen off a cliff? Is Grubb, you know, and I'm not saying Ty's been playing great, but I mean, what do you think, Kyle?
Well, I mean, as I showed a graphic earlier, I mean, I think clearly that Ty is trending the opposite way in terms of his on the field performance. Last night they didn't look like a playoff team. I don't think they would have beat Texas A&M. I don't think they would have beat Indiana, Ohio State, Georgia. Probably down to the wire with a team like BYU. But I think if you look collectively, as I just showed you, and if you go off the college football principles, then you do take Alabama as a team because of the gauntlet that they played. Now it's up to Alabama, A, to see if they can be healthy, and B, to see if they can get things together and really make a run at this thing. I'm a little less optimistic on that aspect because of I feel like the offense can't match the defense. I feel that Ryan Grubb needs to be called out. I'm sure that's uncomfortable for a lot of people, but if we were watching the game last night, the offense, they're clearly lacking identity. They can't run the football. And Ty Simpson, he's regressing at the wrong point in time. I love the kid. I think, maybe he can get it together again. But if you look at the last 6 games, it hasn't been it. And I think that's been a big catalyst to why Alabama is 1-2 against SEC teams in the last 3 games.
All right. Two quick things. And I said it in the, when LT Overton was out, I put in the chat, oh no, with about 8 O's, because I think him being out really, really, really hurt. And Kyle, this might not be popular in the chat, but whatever. One time we got the ball to Hollywood, did you see how fast he is? You got to put the ball in that guy's hands, and if you're gonna right away throw a screen pass to him like the second play of the game. Get the nerves out instead of having to make some kind of acrobatic play jumping 10 feet in the air. I mean, the guy is he's going to play in the NFL. Everybody, the guy he's a phenom, and we're not using him the right way. And listen, I love the other guys, but if we make it in, and I think that's an if. I'm not in the poll, Kyle. I was low. I was not mid.
Yeah.
And I'll say this though: if they don't let us in, then the conference then they single-handedly killed the conference championship game today.
Yeah.
So you can live with that on your shoulders for the rest. And then Kyle, I don't know if we've spoken about this, or why not just let 16 teams in, Kyle, and then we can put this thing to bed.
Yeah, we can make that text a little bit bigger. I think that we're trending that way. I think that it's clear that since the SEC is so deep that, more of those teams, are going to be, on the outside looking in. And I think it's a travesty to think like Tulane and James Madison, they're in over a playoff team that is trending up like a Vanderbilt, a team, that, I don't know if you want to throw in another team, Miami or whoever it is on the back end, but the playoff, number one, the committee, it's wrong that it's chosen by a committee. There should be more rules and parameters about, who gets in from the conferences. But then you're like, some teams don't even have a conference. But anyways, Chris, I appreciate it, man. Rest easy.
All right, brother.
Alabama's in, bro. Yeah,
great job. You're looking good, Billy Ray. Looking good.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. I'll get you on the next show once I can learn the script better. All right, take it easy, Chris. All right, 417, we got Timothy. And by the way, if you have, it looks to me that Bama is in. Okay, so that's it. I'm just a guy in a blazer taking calls, but it looks to me like Bama's in. All right, Timothy, let's do it. Timothy, what's up, man? Welcome to the show.
What's up, Kyle? How you doing?
Doing good, man. Welcome on in, bro. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. Okay, so I think the committee will let us in because people got to realize 3 drives killed Alabama because the block punt, there's 3 drives that Georgia had that was between midfield and closer to their side of the end zone. And those 3 drives resulted in 21 points. If we didn't turn the ball over on downs, it would be a 21-7 game, or likely it was 3rd and goal at the 9. We could have made it 24-7 to make it look a little bit better. But people got to realize that our defense held up for 4 straight quarters, and without the block punt, the turnover on downs, just those 2, it would be 14-7, and go probably heading into the 4th quarter or in the end of the game, that could have been the final. I think our defense. I think the committee's going to look at that and be like, well, take into account Georgia had 3 drives in their red zone. They're going to be like, okay, Alabama's defense held up for the most part. Gunnar Stockton didn't even do anything crazy, but the only thing is that it's the quarterback runs. That's just what killed Alabama. And the main thing is also that we started in our own 15-yard line 4 times. We did it the 3rd drive, the 4th drive, and the 5th or 6th drive. We had it within our 15-yard line. We can't be doing that. It's a battle of field position. If we want to take out this Georgia team, we have to start at the 28, the 30, 35, somewhere where Ty can feel a little bit more comfortable. I do have a hot take. I don't know if it's going to be a hot take. I believe that we will beat Texas A&M. We will have 12 days before that game. We're going to get probably mainly all of our players back. I don't know about Jam Miller, but we'll probably get all of our players back. Grubb and Kalen DeBoer is going to be working on play calling. They're going to be talking to this team about the goals that they had from the beginning of the season. If they are in and they do play Texas A&M, I do have them beating them. However, that 2 seed, I don't know. If it's Georgia, I think Alabama's got more film on that Georgia defense now, because we all knew that you can't beat a team twice in a row. But now, since we have more film on what Georgia did to us this last game and what Todd didn't do right, I think we can knock them off. If it's Ohio State, they didn't look the best either. I watched that game. They struggled mightily. They missed 2 field goals, I believe, and they couldn't really move the ball either. Like, they were talking about how great this Ohio State team is. They played a top 10 team for the first time and lost. So, like, if we played them, I think our defense could keep up. But if Ty and this team is healthy going into the quarterfinals, I think that is when it clicks. And I think that is when we can see this team finally get it together. And that might be a hot take, but I just feel like rest and recovery is the most important thing right now if we do make it.
All right, man. Thanks for calling in, Timothy. I appreciate it, man. All right, Timothy from the road. We got an 828 and a 251. It's like I think it's clear, as we start to get a little bit closer to the college football playoff rankings, that Alabama is going to be in. It looks like, honestly, FanDuel leaked the brackets, and they have Alabama playing Texas A&M. That's out there. Like, you could look it up if you just type in FanDuel, go to their site, and I mean, those are the odds that everybody's talking about it, right? I'm sure ESPN is completely upset, but there's leaks, right? The thing is like, okay, if Alabama really is in the playoffs, do we want this team in the playoffs? Okay, and can this team be able to get it together on the road against A&M? Because I think the last thing we want is like Alabama to get inside the playoffs and then go get embarrassed. I don't know. If that's necessarily what we want. Coach Kalen DeBoer was arguing that the team will be fully healthy, so maybe they go over there. I still think this could happen. I think this is here are the odds from FanDuel, by the way. If you're like wondering, like, did FanDuel leak it? Well, here they are. I think it's crazy because I think if Bama and A&M play, which is on my bracket right here, this was my bracket before the FanDuel even came out. But I think it just makes common sense. If you go off the principles, you'll be able to get it too. Bama beats A&M and then takes on Georgia for a 3rd time this year, which is absolutely insane. And number one, I don't know if they could beat A&M playing like they did last night. Number 2, I don't know what the line would be next time they play Georgia. All right, take the next call from the 828. Hey, you're on the line.
How you doing today?
Welcome on in. You're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who am I on the line with, and where are you calling in from?
I'm calling in from Franklin, North Carolina. I had 2 questions. First question is, I know a couple calls ago somebody mentioned a 16-team playoff, and my thought was, well, what if we just do a 24-team playoff and if you're not ranked, you don't get in. I'm not opposed to the idea, but I don't like the idea. I'm kind of on the fence. I was just wanted to know your take on that.
I think what they're doing is they're warming us up to 16. I think there's going to be so much controversy about this bracket that they're going to move us to 16. And then you're going to get, X amount of teams from SEC, X amount from the Big Ten. And then to make everybody else happy, they're going to be like, well, we're at 16. Let's just go to 24. So I think you're going to just continue to see that. And I think, like, prediction-wise, far out, I think they'll get rid of conference championship games. I think we'll move to, a larger playoff model, and that'll just kind of be the way of the world. And it'll be much easier for everybody to make the playoffs kind of in that top 6 from the SEC. And should 6 teams make it from the SEC? Yeah, probably. I mean, that conference is absolutely loaded. Does it water it down? I guess so. But, bowl games are meaningless. Remember when bowl games used to mean a little something? Now bowl games are just, it's terrible. It's like for JV teams. So, but I think we eventually get there, but the next step will probably be 16. What else you got, man?
So I have a prediction now. If we do make it today into the playoffs and we beat Texas A&M, I think we're going to have a Georgia-Alabama rematch. And I'm not sure what the bracket looks like, but hopefully it ends up being a Georgia-Alabama national championship and we win. I think that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, I think the way it's I have a graphic up right now in my prediction. I think Georgia's going to be that number 2 seed, and how it would work if Bama beats A&M, they'd then play Georgia in the quarterfinals. So I do have these teams meeting 3 times this year, which is completely crazy. I mean,
that would be insane.
Look, and after watching Alabama, I don't want any Georgia smoke right now. Like, that team looked good. They're polished. They shut down every single thing. But who knows? I mean, maybe Alabama gets healthy. Yeah. But I appreciate you calling in, man. Calling again next time.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, see ya.
Bye.
All right. By the way, if you're just joining us and you're seeing this bracket and you're like, what the hell is this? These are my predictions. The official bracket hasn't been posted yet, okay? These were my predictions as of last night, going off the principle. So, all right? Now what everybody is talking about on social media, and this happened again last year, is I think it was Brett McMurphy. Somebody leaked the rankings or the playoffs, and this is what they have. So FanDuel officially posted their odds are out, which lines up exactly with my bracket. Meaning Alabama on the road at Texas A&M, Notre Dame on the road to play Oklahoma, James Madison on the road to play Oregon, and Tulane on the road to play Ole Miss. Now, these are not official, but, I mean, come on. Like, FanDuel already has them out. You think FanDuel is going to be like, oh, we made a mistake? No. The line's already out. So, but we're going to wait to, see if this is true. And then ESPN is going to be absolutely livid. But I also think that the seeding committee is this is kind of the end of the committee. All right, 251. Hey, you're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who am I on line with? And where are you calling in from?
Oh, it's Kevin in Mobile.
What's up, Kevin? Appreciate you calling in, man.
Hey, just sitting back here listening to you. I'm not surprised FanDuel already has the brackets. They probably already know the winners and losers before the games are played, too. You know that? By the way, Womac's defense was out of position last night all night long. By the way, Grubb was calling plays. I would think he was in there with them FanDuel boys. I can see why he got fired after 1 year at the Seahawks. Can't you?
Yeah. And I don't know if you caught my broadcast, my live yesterday, but sometimes I'll pull up why Ryan Grubb was fired at Seattle, and it's the exact same issues that is happening right here. Like T for T. It's crazy.
Oh, his quarterback has been regressing. And, I don't like to bring up the little things that I see, but there was a interview and Ty Simpson was like, our running backs' mental games aren't right or something. And then a reporter asked Grubb, and Grubb had a snappy little response to it, And I also see other little things. You know, I watched the team get off of the bus and walk into the facility yesterday. I watched 3 minutes and 44-minute video of the team walking in the facility. I thought it was a damn Geek Squad convention, you know, or I thought maybe they was going to a funeral, you know, because it's just nothing walking in, just blank stares and where am I going in my fancy little suit? You know what I mean? And I said to myself, man, they look like they're going to a funeral. And they showed up to their own funeral. They played like crap. You know? The damn opposing coach is on national TV talking about we're going to make a special teams play and then two kickoff. Anybody that saw the first punt saw how close the defenders got to our kicker. I saw it. What do you watch when somebody punts? I watch to see how close the defenders get to the kicker. They got pretty damn close to him on that first one. And then the second one, they blocked it. What are we doing here? What are we doing? What are the coaches watching? What am I watching? You know? Explain it to me. Explain to me how that kick got kicked when the opposing coach says, we're going to make a special teams play. It always happens in these big games. And then the second punt, they block it. Kyle?
I'm
You
here.
still there?
You know what I noticed, Kevin, on that
Yeah.
that punt was two things. Number one, it seemed like the snap was really high. And then it seemed like the guy took so long to actually punt the damn ball, you know? So the guy got in there, blocked it. Georgia has good field of position. They score. They make an opportunity. Alabama's defense in a bad position. And then Ty Simpson goes down the field, throws an interception, which equates to another touchdown. Then you're down in the hole 14-0, you know? So, those type of mistakes are hard to recover from when you can't move the football to begin with, when you can't challenge teams vertically to begin with. But I don't know. Kevin, I appreciate the call, man. Thanks for calling in. I got to move to my next caller. I appreciate you calling in, though.
All righty.
I love when Kevin calls, though. That energy. All right. I think we got 850. Hey, you're on the line with Kyle. Who am I on the line with? Where are you calling in from?
Hey, Kyle. Jay from Misco.
Jay, is this a different phone number?
Yeah, it is. I actually after today, we call you from another 601 number, but that 601 number will be my new number.
Okay.
This is a temporary number right now. So.
All right. Okay. We're good. All right. I like this connection better. I don't know if this is like Cricket or T-Mobile or I don't know what we got, but I like this connection better than the other one. Just if you were looking for an opinion from me. Jay from Pensacola, what's up, Doc?
I do value your opinion though, so that's good to know.
All right, welcome on in, bro. Come with it.
I agree, Kyle. I mean, do I want to see him, man? Do I want to play Georgia again? I don't. Kirby's the best coach in college football. He is a mini Saban. He has his team playing lights out right now. And I never would say because the Georgia fans talked about Mike Bobo.
Mm-hmm.
And how they didn't like how he did the offense. He looked pretty fine to me yesterday.
You know, one of the other callers before you all called in, and he said, ever since I've been living here, I've been saying y'all more. It took me a while to start saying y'all.
You get country now, guys.
Yeah. I'm saying y'all now. All I need is some boiled peanuts and some crawfish, and then I'll be straight. But someone else said recently that I think like looking at this team collectively, they're just not playing its best football. I agree with that completely. But let me ask you, Jay, do you feel that if this team gets in the playoffs, they get healthy, that they can make a run, or do you think that there's too much disconnection between the kind of the offense, then that'll kind of be their downfall?
I'll give you my honest opinion. I do. I do feel like we can go on a Ohio State run if we get in the playoffs, we get healthy.
Mm-hmm.
I do feel like that. I am optimistic, but at the same time, if the offense cannot click,
mm-hmm.
we will get embarrassed again. I understand the injuries, but this was embarrassing.
Yeah. Yeah, I think though, like from a Coach Kalen DeBoer like approval rating standpoint, his approval rating will stay kind of in that 7 to 8 out of 10 range because he made the playoffs. And then next year, there's going to be, I would imagine there's 16 teams, and it's going to be everybody makes the playoffs. You know what I'm saying, from the SEC. So, that's he's going to be here for quite some time. For those of you that might be on the other side, but 10-3 in the SEC, man. Getting in the SEC championship game is tough. I know they're banged up and stuff. Didn't play like a playoff team, but collectively, that's how you have to judge the teams. All right, Jay, I appreciate you calling in, man. Call again next time.
Here's your call, late call. Got the grudge.
Yep, man. Take it easy. All right, 334. Hey, thanks for calling in.
This is Shannon. This is Shannon from Saraland.
Shannon, what's up, man? I appreciate you calling in from LA, man. Welcome to the show. Go ahead.
Yeah. I got a question, and I'm watching, but I've got you muted on the TV. Can you put your bracket, what you have, back up on the screen for a minute? I want to ask you a question about it.
There you go.
And my thing is like so basically your bracket, you have just and I've seen the other brackets already this morning from where it has Alabama playing Texas A&M.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I think Alabama gets dropped below 10 to like 11.
Mm-hmm.
And I see Alabama playing Ole Miss
Mm-hmm.
for that first round if they get in.
Mm-hmm.
And, I've already talked to several people this morning. They're like, well, Alabama shouldn't get in. They lost. If that's the case, then what? BYU should get in. Troy should get in. They won. They were in their conference championships, and I know all that's meaningless. But where and like you said earlier, you think the conference championships are going to be obsolete, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
But in say a 16 team or 24 team playoff, would those conference would you not still have those conference championships and then have all your the people that make it to those conference championships still get in the playoffs in those 24 teams?
I think it's I think that might be kind of redundant. You know what I'm saying? And I think the coaches be against that because they're like, why are we playing this game if we're already in? I think my prediction is what happens is the fact that I think it's going to just be, whoever wins the conference whoever has the best record will be the champion. So this year, Alabama would have been the SEC champion based on, their head-to-head over Georgia. And I think you will no longer have –
So what you're saying is it's kind of like what they do in basketball where you have a regular season champion and then the tournament champion.
Yeah, but they just won't play that tournament. Yeah. Then you'll just basically go into the tournament and you'll have, I guess, that extra week to, signing day or whatever you're going to do. But, Georgia, they gained the number 2 seed. Bama, they're still in, right? Ohio State's still in. Indiana's still in. Like, what did Indiana and Ohio State, honestly, what did they even play for? I get it, the Big Ten championship game, but, what did they play for?
Well, in my opinion, I think Ohio State ought to drop to number 4. Texas Tech beat number 3. Indiana number 1. They beat Ohio State. Yeah, Ohio State's been number 1 pretty much all season, but you drop. Georgia number 2, where you got them. I would flip-flop Ohio State and Texas Tech. And, maybe I would probably there. So basically, in the top half of your bracket, you have Ole Miss and Oklahoma in the top half of the bracket, or is it? How do they figure up that bottom seed? Is it kind of going like if you look at the way you have your bracket, you have James Madison, Oregon, Notre Dame, Oklahoma, Tulane, Ole Miss, Bama, and A&M. Why would you not have Bama or Ole Miss in that top half of the bracket with Oklahoma?
I'll answer on the other line, man. But I appreciate you calling in, man. Thanks for calling. Thanks, bro. Thanks for the call. So kind of explaining kind of where we're at right now. So the college football playoff show is on, okay? As soon as the official bracket comes on, I will show you that. This is my prediction, okay? Everybody out there in the entire world is talking about the bracket being leaked. What does that mean? Well, FanDuel already has its odds out as of like an hour ago. Here are those odds. As you can see, it has Bama playing Texas A&M, okay? Has Notre Dame playing Oklahoma. Are these, predictions? I think that FanDuel got the bracket already and they put out the odds. So the bracket, it seemed that it was leaked, okay? That's, and it lines up exactly with my bracket. So this is my predictions. These are FanDuel, okay? And we do not have official bracket rankings yet, but it seemed like it's already been leaked, okay? In this scenario, Bama, if it holds, will be playing on the road against Texas A&M. Again, if the bracket holds, they will be playing, if they win that game, the winner plays Georgia. So you could have Georgia and Bama playing again. Do you guys trust the FanDuel stuff inside the comment box? I personally do, but I guess we'll see. And inside the chat, what is your confidence level that Alabama makes the playoffs? 30% high, 36% mid, and 35% low. So we'll see. And as soon as they release the brackets, how this will work is we'll post the rankings inside the chat, and then we'll have the official bracket posted on the screen. Okay? So let's take a couple more calls. And to explain what our last user was asking about, he's asking about the 11 and 12 spot. So what the committee has to do is they have to put the 5 highest ranked conference champions inside the bracket. Well, you're like, where's the ACC champ? Well, they didn't, since Virginia lost last night, Duke isn't high enough to be ranked based off their principles. So you have to take Tulane and you have to take James Madison. And then after that, you have to take 7 highest ranked teams. It really comes down to Bama, Notre Dame, Miami, as you've been watching. But if you go off the principles, Bama has the edge against those 2 teams. What'll be really interesting to see what the committee says if Notre Dame, according to FanDuel, has made it. What is their argument why Notre Dame made the tournament over Miami when Miami beat them head-to-head? So the last 2 schools to sue the committee have been from the state of Florida. I think, so prediction, Miami or Vanderbilt will sue the committee. That's that's my next prediction. Hey, they have Coach Saban on. Let's see what Coach Saban says. Coach Saban, he's got a red blazer on. Is he? He's the college football commissioner. Come on. All right, let's take a couple other calls while we're waiting for these brackets to be released. All right, we got Angel, Pigeon Forge. Angel, what's up, man? Come with it, bro. Do you trust these FanDuel rankings?
I don't know yet. I wouldn't trust it until it's final by the ESPN. Honestly, today's the day about our fate, And honestly, I think this team is better than half of the teams in that bracket when they play well, when they have correct, personnel and all that. And because we saw it before against Georgia and them, they can beat these teams. They just gotta stay healthy, and injuries are part of the game. But I don't think one game should define the whole season, And look at the FCS, by the way. For instance, they have a 16-team playoff. Like they got teams in there that's 9-3. 10-3, and they do pretty well in that tournament. You know what I'm saying? Like, they shouldn't really define that season on that one bad loss because, honestly, they have to look at the whole body of work throughout the season. And there were some highs, there were some lows, but the positive outweighs the negative in this, in my opinion, because we've seen it before. We've seen what they are capable of doing.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, injuries, are part of the game, and you got teams step up. But I do believe that Alabama will not be left out because we play the toughest resume. Of course, they speak for itself. And probably in a few years, probably, these games will go away probably, and big non-con games, scheduling. And what is the point, playing a tough schedule when they might penalize you? Because, that's just destroys the purpose of college football. We love college football. That's the whole point.
Let's see what Angel. Hold on.
But
Let's see what Coach Saban had to say. I'm going to read out a quote from Coach Saban right here. He's on ESPN. Coach Saban, Alabama had the most impressive run in the middle of the season when they beat Georgia at Georgia and beat 3 or 4 more ranked teams at a time, all in a row. Now lately, for whatever reasons, and injuries are part of the game, and you have to be able to overcome them, they're not playing as well as they did earlier in the season. I would imagine that Saban has huge carry in everything that he says like usual. And he's kind of, if you're reading between the lines on what Saban said, he's saying it's because, they're not healthy, but you have to kind of play through that. I believe the FanDuel leak, Angel. What else? Make one more point, man, before we move on.
Yeah. Look, well, the committee they want these teams to play cupcakes. That's all what they want. They don't want the purpose, playing a tough schedule anymore because they make stuff up along the way. But honestly, I don't really trust the committee. But anyway, Kyle, roll tide. I hope we get into the playoff. But hope for the best. We just got to believe. Roll Tide.
All right, Roll Tide, man. I appreciate you. Thanks for calling in. That's Angel out in Pigeon Forge. All right, I don't think you guys can see this. Let me go full screen. Maybe you guys haven't been able to see the odds. So this is the FanDuel leak. If you're wondering if they've, made the bracket, it seems to be leaked an hour ago, and it has Bama playing A&M. Just in case, whenever I say leak, that's what it means. And here's the full bracket, how it would look if it was leaked, okay? This is not the official bracket. This is my prediction, which actually just is kind of online with the leak. Okay, as you can see, Bama down here playing on the road against Texas A&M. Winner plays Georgia. This is a tough road over here. If they land up on this side, because you have Ohio State over here too, and Georgia, that's a tough side. 484. Hey, welcome to the show. You're online with Kyle Henderson. Thanks for calling in. Hey, 484. I'll give you five seconds. 5. Hey,
you hear me?
Yeah, what's up, man? Welcome to the show. Who am I online with and where are you calling in from?
Hey, man, this is Kiltack.
Kiltack, what's up, man? Welcome to the show, man. Come with it.
Yeah, man. Just calling. Get my thoughts on last night. I think we just got hit by the Kirby Smart, buzzsaw. That's what struggles when you have to play the same team twice in a row.
Mm-hmm.
2 games is always going to be rough, and he's probably the best defensive mind in college football right now that Nick Saban's gone.
Yep.
And I think we just, there was some impressive discipline level stuff that Georgia was doing. Like, how many batted balls did we have on the line where they were just always getting their hands up and Ty couldn't get it over them? I mean, it was crazy. And then I think the game just inherently got away from us, and, everybody's talking about how, bad Ty's doing. And I couldn't imagine being a quarterback that's getting submarined at least once a game. He's been clipped at the knees by defensive players all the time. He's getting blasted and hit, 15 times a game because his O-line can't protect him. And our best offensive line player was Parker Brailsford, and you can tell, he could not move around right now. He is struggling. And the fact that he's even out there playing, it's crazy.
Hey, Kiltack, Kiltack, let me ask you a question real quick. I'm gonna ask you 3 questions, okay? Okay.
Yep.
I'm gonna ask you, is this an offensive minded coach or is it a defensive minded coach? And these are the last 3 teams Alabama has played. Is Brett Venables an offensive minded coach or a defensive minded coach?
defense.
Is he a good defensive-minded coach?
His scheme is good against certain type of offensive line blocking, yes.
DJ Durkin.
Because we're so bad at running and we can't get to the outside of the line, like our running backs just have no speed to get to the outside, it allows Brent Venables' style defense to get home a lot.
Okay, DJ Durkin.
Probably defense.
Yep, defense, and then with Kirby Smart. So my point is, like, I get it. And I'm not happy with the play of Ty Simpson. I'm just saying, like, if you step back.
Our O-line is so bad, man, and it is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
If you would have told me Cuevas was the most important player on the team at, week 5, I wouldn't have believed it. But it is obvious that he was the only thing keeping us able to move down the field over the middle and was the main blocker keeping Ty Simpson alive.
Oh.
It's crazy. I would not have thought it was him, but it is so obvious right now.
And it seemed like he was
when he went out in the Oklahoma
time
game, everything went away.
And it seemed like he's a game time decision. So maybe that means that in the next.
He's probably the most sure-handed person we have. He maybe has 3 drops all year.
Mm-hmm.
And you can, like Williams, it's like 20% chance he catches it.
Mm.
I mean, it hit him in the chest last night. He dropped it.
That was crazy. Yeah. It was crazy. The crazy thing was it didn't even
Horton had one in his hands and he just didn't grab it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know, like it's hard to look at Ty when half of his passes are just wide receivers not catching. Like, could you imagine if like Daniel Hill just caught that one catch? That would have been a first down. Even DeBoer was on the sideline like, just catch the ball. like I don't know. Sometimes I'm just like, put everybody in. Let's see if Rico Scott can catch. Let Cole Adams play. Let's see if he can catch.
Cole Adams almost dropped himself. Cole Adams almost dropped that punt return. That was the first time he's had a kind of.
And that would have been like his third in the year that he dropped.
Shoot, man. Yeah, that was dangerous.
Like, I don't know, man. Like Latier Brooks, like I feel like he's playing injured or something. He seems slower than he did at the beginning of the year. Like something's wrong with him, and I think the rumor is Ty's back is really messed up.
Yeah, that's what they're saying. They keep on showing that. They keep on showing
that would make sense because he can't turn. If you can't rotate your back to get velocity, it would make sense why he's overthrowing balls and underthrowing balls. But who knows? I mean, he's getting like electroshock therapy on the sidelines, so his back might be really messed up.
All right, Kiltack.
I wouldn't doubt it. The amount of hits he's taking is crazy.
Kiltack, make a prediction. Bama in or out?
If they don't put Bama in, the SEC championship implodes, and that's one of the highest money makers ESPN has, so they're going to be in.
Love it. All right, thanks for calling in, Kiltack. I appreciate it, bro.
Yep. Peace.
All right, Kiltack, a strong supporter on the channel. Appreciate you, Kiltack. 604. Well, and we're waiting. By the way, if you're like, what's going on? We're waiting for the bracket to be released. And when the bracket is officially released, as we usually do, we'll show it right on the screen. And then we'll ask you some questions about the bracket, okay? So it seemed like we're close. So they just had Heather Dinich on. They had Coach Saban on. Coach Saban said that they had a strong middle season, kind of been leaking some oil on the back end. Heather Dinich, who usually is against Alabama, she has Bama in. So Alabama fans are like, FanDuel reportedly leaked the bracket, and Bama's in playing Texas A&M. We're waiting for the official word, and we're just taking some calls, breaking some bread here on Sunday morning. 604. Hey, thanks for calling in. You're online with Kyle Henderson. Yeah, good morning. Who am I online with, and where are you calling in from?
This is Vashon Farmer. I'm calling you from Vancouver Island, British Columbia.
Oh, wow. What's that? We're on Pacific out there, right?
Yeah. It's all the way to the West Coast, almost to Alaska.
You want to? Are you a Bama fan, college football fan? Set the stage for us.
I'm a college football fan. I'm a University of Georgia alumni.
Okay.
So I am calling to refute the comment that said that the Georgia calls had no class. We love Alabama. We respect them as a competitor, and we certainly have been in a situation where the shoe was on the other foot as recently as 2 years ago. And I'd just like to say, I'm sorry that things went the way that they did last night. But if Alabama gets in, personally, I don't really think they should. But if they do, I hope we don't have to see them play Georgia in Georgia's next game after they get a bye. I think that would be a mess for Kalen DeBoer and for Alabama. But it would be a much different scene if Alabama could play Miami, since the big argument right now is whether or not Miami or Alabama should get in. I don't know if there's any way to make that work in the metrics. And the other comment I had was I just feel like a lot of people have forgotten that these coaches, especially the ones who've got Jimmy Sexton as an agent, they have a huge multi-million-dollar bonus that goes with the conference games. So, in my opinion, we could just have no ninth conference game for SEC teams, keep the conference games, but take the top two according to the rankings, according to the CFP.
Yeah.
And the American Conference already does this. And then that way everybody plays. And then after the conference championships are over, you select the top 12. And we don't have a mess like we did this year where you've got so many teams ranked between Georgia and Alabama, like Ole Miss and Texas A&M, that are going to make the college football playoff. It would have just been the top two teams in the SEC. Same thing for the ACC. It would have been Miami versus Virginia. And it would have been a lot easier, a lot less controversial for the committee to make a decision at that point. So that's all I got to say. I'm going to hang up. Thanks so much. Have a good day.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thanks for the call out from Vancouver. You know, I'd really like to get out to Vancouver at some point in my life. I've been to Seattle many different times, and, the times that I went to Seattle, I had a good time. But haven't been out to Vancouver yet. All right, so if you're wondering where the rankings are at, they're coming at some point in time. We're waiting for them to be revealed. When they are officially revealed, we will bring that bracket to you right here on the screen. We're taking some calls. So feel free to call in. If you have a question, you have an observation, you have whatever it is, call into the show. 205. Hey, thanks for calling in. Good morning. You're on the line with Kyle. Yeah, who am I on the line with? Where are you calling in from?
Chris from Birmingham, Alabama.
All right, man. Welcome on. What was your name?
Chris from Birmingham, Alabama.
All right, man. Come with it. I appreciate you.
My opinion, they don't deserve to be in.
Mm-hmm.
They had their opportunity last night, and they shat the bed.
Mm-hmm.
-3 rushing yards, putting the defense in all kinds of bad positions, offensively and through special teams. Because Georgia wasn't necessarily driving the ball down the whole game. It's just more so they just got took advantage of miscued opportunities on Bama's behalf, punting the ball, going a pick, and honestly, what didn't Cole Adams have a muff punt and then put him at the 5?
Ask that again, Chris.
Hello.
Yeah, I'm here, man. Ask it again.
Didn't Cole Adams have like a muff punt and put them at the 5?
Yes, he did. Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness. Listen. I honestly, because performing like that offensively alone, especially in special teams, that'll get you beat by.
Hey, Chris, we got to go because we got the playoff rankings, man. But thanks for calling in. I appreciate it, man. The rankings are just being revealed right now.
No problem.
All right, take it easy. All right, fam. So the number one team clearly is Indiana. If you're on hold, you guys can call back. So you don't have to wait online. But the bracket is literally being revealed. How we're going to do this is we're going to I'll go on this screen. See, if we could just go on this other side and just put and then and look, everybody knows that at least FanDuel had the bracket released, right? So the number one team is Indiana. We'll see if my bracket holds out. This is my prediction. Let's see if this holds out, okay? So I have the number one team, Indiana. So does the big board. Number 2, is actually Ohio State. So we'll update that. You can just update this bracket, I guess, if you want to. So Ohio State is at 2. Interesting. Well, I guess that's good, or good or bad, depending on if Bama makes it as a 7 seed, right? So we're going to update this graphic live. Okay, so Ohio State. And then we'll update. So Indiana is number 1 right here. This is legitimate. Number 2 down here, that's going to be Ohio State. Okay. So they felt that the Big Ten championship game was the 2 top teams in college football. Do you guys agree with that? I guess I do. That was a good game last night. 2 good teams. They were both undefeated, right? I guess that makes sense to me. So we'll update Ohio State. And then Georgia will be the number 3 team. And Ohio State will fix their record in just a second. So Georgia is number 3. Bulldogs winning the SEC championship game, right? This season. Only 1 loss, which was to Alabama. So we're going to update this bracket as we go. So far, Indiana, number 1, legitimate. Number 2, Ohio State, that's in. And number 3 is the Georgia Bulldogs. I would imagine that the number 4 team on this board and Ohio State pretty good this season with only 1 blemish, which came last night against Indiana. I was still shocked that Indiana won that game. Texas Tech, 12-1 on the year as the number 4 team, as we predicted. Now, this is where we find out if FanDuel leaked the bracket, okay? Because if FanDuel leaked the bracket, then everything should stay right here. Still, Smith, we updated Ohio State, 12-1, not 121-1. Let's see. We're about to find out. Do you guys believe the leak? I'm saying yes. What do you guys think? Here it is. Is Bama in or out? We're about to find out. Drum roll. You know they're going to start with number 12. Because there's no drama with 12. Let's see. Here we go. First round matchup starting right now. Number 1, 2, 3, and 4. That's legitimate right here. These are all accurate. This is all updated right here. Here we go. First round. This is where we're going to be right here, fam. Who has the home games? This is where we're at. Oregon, number 5. Okay, this one's good. Was FanDuel leaking? So will number 12 be James Madison? We'll find out. Oh, thanks for the update on the Vancouver Island. I appreciate that. Wow, that sounds amazing. Oregon, 11-1 on the season. The only team that they lost to was Indiana, right? They lost that game at home. So we got the number 5 team in right here. These are updated, right? We change it as we go. Let's see. Number 5, Oregon's in. Where are they going to go to next? Will they put number 6 in, or will they bounce around? I like the bounce around type drama. Go with like a number 11. Go with the number 12. You know they're not going to go 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, they are. Number 6 is Ole Miss. It's working out. It's working out. Number 6 is Ole Miss. 11-1 on the season. That number in the bracket. All right. Next is 7. If it's 7, A&M, Maroon Panther, you know what I know. Okay, Ole Miss, that's official. Let's see, number 7. Is it Texas A&M? Oh, let's see. Number 7, Ole Miss. You know, this is a team that wasn't penalized for losing its coach, right? Pete Golding leading the team into the playoffs. Number 7 is Texas A&M. It's working. Texas A&M at the number 7 spot. Woo! Who we got at 8, fam? You think it's going to be Oklahoma? Texas A&M, 1 loss on the season, which was against Texas. Other than that, right, they were rolling during the season. Although I still kind of have them on fraud alert, okay? I do. But Marcel Reed, he's very dangerous quarterback, 100%. All right, let's see. Number 8, here we go. Who we got? Oklahoma? We got Oklahoma up in here? Oklahoma at number 8. Okay, here we go. Ooh. All right. You guys think Alabama's in or out? Type in or out. In or out? Inside the comment box as fast as you can. The more ins, the more good karma. Type in as fast as you can. Or type out. Oklahoma at 8. We're right here. Will number 9 be Notre Dame? Will number 9 be Notre Dame? This is where we're at, right here. Everything else is good so far. Number 9. Oh, we got a bunch of people believing. We got some haters, though. Okay, here they go. 9, 10, 11, 12. This is the nitty-gritty. Who's the first team? Oh, my goodness. The drama. I'm even a little bit nervous, all right? Knees weak. Palms are heavy. Mom spaghetti. All right, number 9. Who we got? Who will Oklahoma play in Norman, Oklahoma? It's going to be Alabama. Alabama is in at the number 9 spot. Wow. Alabama will be in taking on Oklahoma. Alabama, number 9. Alabama officially at 9. Wow. Alabama at 9. Bama is at number 9. It's official, fam. Bama is at number 9 and will be taking on Oklahoma. You know what? Oh, my goodness. You get a rematch with Oklahoma. Bama's in. Wow. Okay. All right. So let's see who number 10 is. So 10's got to be updated over here. We'll update 10. I'll do it on this side. Okay. Let's see. We're going to see who number 10 is. And 10 will be, let's see. Waiting on 10. Bama is in. If you're just joining us, we're updating the bracket live right here. Bama will be playing Oklahoma. That is official, okay? Let's see who we got. Number 10, who will be on the road taking on Texas A&M. So FanDuel, they thought they had it. I think they had the right teams. Number 10 is Miami. 10-2 is Miami. Okay. So we got number 9 will be Bama, and then number 10 will be Miami. The Miami Hurricanes. You know what? They came to recognize. So you know what? You know who's out? This Notre Dame is out. Okay. And just as I said, the only thing that I was wondering is how could they not look at the head-to-head? So they kicked Notre Dame out. So Alabama and Miami were really the bubble teams. Notre Dame is done. And it came down to the fact that Miami beat Notre Dame head-to-head, period, plain and simple, okay? So Notre Dame, you're out, okay? You got to join a conference. You got to play tougher competition, okay? You got to join a conference, Notre Dame. Sorry, you do. And the win by Miami over Notre Dame kicked Notre Dame. How happy are you that Notre Dame got kicked out on a scale of 1 to 10? I have to be honest. I'm like a 10 that Notre Dame got kicked out. I look, if they were a playoff team, then so be it. But I think like not playing in a conference and trying to like wiggle around on the back end, get out, man. So Notre Dame is out. All right, so we're waiting for 11 and 12. It should be pretty easy from here. The last two teams, it should be Tulane, and then it should be James Madison. I think it'll hold out like that. And I don't know why. And look, I'm not pulling for Miami or anything like that. It's just like I felt like we should do the right thing and get Notre Dame. If Notre Dame was to make the playoffs, I would have been so upset. Miami, I told you. I'd be like, Miami's suing everybody, right? All right, we're waiting on 11 and 12, and then we'll look at the bracket officially, and we'll kind of go over, some hypotheticals, and I have some questions for you. Waiting on 11 and 12, it should be Tulane and James Madison. I mean, it's that easy. I think the only thing that I had, mixed up was, I guess, the 7 and 10 matchup. But I still feel good about my bracket. I figured just based off the principles, this is how it would look. I didn't have Miami in. Which is weird because I went against my own principles. All right, so come on, get to it. They want the ratings too. All right, so number 11 is going to be Tulane, as predicted. So Tulane will be playing Ole Miss, and you have James Madison playing Oregon. But imagine it's going to be, they're going to the Green Wave. They're going to take a picture of these guys. Tulane is in. How do you honestly feel inside the comment box that Tulane made it? Like, let me ask you this. Who wins, Vanderbilt or Tulane? Seriously, who wins that game? So you have Tulane taking on Ole Miss, right? And then you have Oregon. They're going to be taking on James Madison. And Justin, what's up, man? Justin points out that Ole Miss already smoked Tulane. Yeah, 100%. Now you got to do it with a different coach, right? That's the only thing that's different. All right, and now you get James Madison that'll be playing Oregon. So that is your bracket. We're going to post, this bracket right here is official, but we'll post the ESPN bracket here in just a second. So James Madison and Tulane are in the bracket, okay? Woo, man. So, and you know what's crazy about this bracket? We'll post the official one. You know what's interesting is Miami right here didn't even play in the ACC championship game. Duke won the conference, and Miami snuck in the back door, right? And I get it. And the reason was because they beat Notre Dame head-to-head, okay? So that's your bracket. I'm going to update the official one. Notre Dame, Notre Dame fans, they feel that they should be in, but why? Why should Notre Dame feel they should be in, all right? Notre Dame and BYU are the first teams out, okay? BYU finishes with a record of 11 and 2. BYU, you should play Notre Dame. So playoff field is officially set. I'll go full screen so you can take a full look at it. And I'll bring the other bracket to you guys here in just a second. So you have Alabama, most importantly, traveling on the road to take on Oklahoma in a rematch. Okay, so just off the top, this is reactionary. What are your thoughts about Alabama taking on Oklahoma again? Okay. All right. And as we do this, so as you give me your confidence level, I'm going to cut a video real quick, and I'm going to go over the college football playoff bracket. And where is it? All right. Let's see. Can't find it. All right. Here we go. So this is the official bracket. All right. All right. So you're going to see a live cut right now. Family, welcome on in. This is Kyle Henderson of Bama Football on YouTube. The Alabama Crimson Tide have made the college football playoffs. Run the thumbs up on this video. Alabama will be taking on Oklahoma, a rematch of a game that took place earlier this year in Tuscaloosa, and it was Oklahoma that won that game. Now, Alabama will have the chance to go on the road, as you know, these first-round matchups on the road, as Alabama will take on the Oklahoma Sooners. So inside the comment box right now, what is your confidence level about Alabama beating Oklahoma on the road? That's my question for you inside the comment box. Let's look at the bracket overall. We'll go full screen. And as you can see, Indiana comes up with the number 1 seed after beating Ohio State. That game took place on Championship Saturday. Now you have number 2, Ohio State. They felt that this game Saturday was the best 2 teams in college football. I can't say I disagree. Number 3, you got the Georgia Bulldogs. Their only loss on the season comes against Alabama when Alabama was playing its best football, right? Number 4, Texas Tech rolled through the Big 12, finished out with a record of 12-1 on the year. First round matchups, remember, these games are at the higher seed, meaning that James Madison, which is one of the 5 highest ranked conference champs, will be traveling to take on Oregon, okay? Oregon hosting this game in Eugene. Alabama on the road to take on Oklahoma. Tulane will be traveling to take on new head football coach Pete Golding in Ole Miss at 11-1. And then Miami gets in at the 10th spot. They will be taking on Texas A&M. Game is in College Station. Now, if you're wondering, you're like, well, which team got left out? Notre Dame was the first team that got left out because they lost head-to-head to Miami way back on August 31st. And then you also have BYU, who lost yesterday. So I have a couple questions as we look at this bracket. And my first question to you, your confidence level about a rematch taking on Oklahoma. You're getting an opportunity to play Brett Venables. You're getting an opportunity to play John Mateer, who Alabama's defense played very well against Oklahoma in that first matchup. But I have some questions for you guys as we kind of look at Alabama and we kind of look at the overall rankings, right? So Alabama in the playoffs with a number 9 spot. And so my first question for you, and I'll answer these questions real quick for you as well. Can Alabama make a deep run in the playoffs? Let me know inside the comment box, yes or no. Do you feel that Alabama can make a deep run? Okay. You look to their first match, it's a one-game season, and you see that if Alabama is able to win that they would play Indiana. And that quarterfinal matchup, those are bowl games. So they're not going to Indiana if they're able to beat Oklahoma. But theoretically, you could have Alabama, versus Indiana. Something I think, we are really excited about the possibilities of. Although watching Indiana, they look pretty damn good on Saturday. My next question. How confident are you in Coach Kalen DeBoer leading this group into the playoffs? Now, something that Coach Kalen DeBoer said is that this team was pretty banged up, right? Meaning that you have a lot of injuries and that most of these guys should be healthy by the time that they step onto the field against Oklahoma. Jam Miller, right? Cam Dewberry, Josh Cuevas. And I think listening to a lot of the callers earlier expressing how big of an impact not having Josh Cuevas has been for Alabama, right? My third option and my third question to you, which matchup do you think is kind of the biggest threat? I'll come back to that. Who is Alabama's biggest X factor inside the comment box? Who do you think is Alabama's biggest X factor? I think that's easy. I think it's Ty Simpson. I think if the offense can get into a rhythm and if they can match the defense, then Alabama has a legitimate shot to do some damage in the playoffs. But if this offense sputters, and I really think this is going to be a hot take, okay? And I'm a Ty Simpson guy, but we have to be realistic here. The X factor down here, D, if Alabama cannot get things going, they have to think about making a change at the quarterback position. Because I think the X factor, the biggest 2 X factors, I'm going to lump in Ryan Grubb here. Ty Simpson and Ryan Grubb have to be able to figure out something to get things going. Otherwise, you need to look at a change of quarterback. You really do. And I think that in hindsight, why Alabama didn't change quarterbacks last night is because it would have been more of a desperation type look. But when you're in the playoffs, it's all or nothing mentality, okay? And what could be this team's downfall? Well, the same thing's tied into the X factor is if they can't get the offense going, if they can't get sort of a running game going, and I think that could be Alabama's biggest downfall. So looking at the bracket one more time, you look at this overall bracket. So I have a question for you as we kind of look at the bracket as a whole now, okay? So who is most likely to be upset in round 1? And by upset, that means the higher seed. Would you say Oregon losing to James Madison? Probably not. Would you say Oklahoma losing to Bama? Would you say Ole Miss losing to Tulane? Or would you say A&M losing to Miami? I think Oklahoma, clearly, right? I mean, those 8-9 matchups are always, they could go either way. All right, now, let me ask you this question. When you're looking at the quarterfinal teams that have byes, 1 through 4, which team has the toughest road to the championship? Are you going to say Texas Tech? They'd play the winner of James Madison and Oregon. You're going to say Indiana? They play the winner of Alabama, Oklahoma. Georgia? Ole Miss, Tulane. And Georgia already beat Ole Miss, earlier this year. That's something interesting to think about. Georgia has actually a pretty good route, although the semifinals could get dicey with the Ohio State down there. I don't know. Give me Indiana, Bama, that's going to be, Indiana fans have been calling for that matchup, right? So you look to that quarterfinal matchup. Okay, your prediction right now, just give me your Final Four. All right, let's just make a reactionary Final Four pick, okay? You guys pick, and I'll let me think about this. Okay, so Texas Tech, all right, I like their chances. Indiana's been playing some damn good football. What do you think about Indiana and Bama potentially? Maybe we should just worry about Oklahoma clearly. But, man, the way that Indiana was playing on Saturday, Final Four, I think I'd be curious to see the odds on that one. All right. Okay, so slowing it down, I'll show you the bracket one more time. Alabama is the number 9 seed. Did they play like a playoff team last night? No. Biggest weakness for this team right now, clearly the lack of offense. This team is certainly capable. The good news is Alabama should be healthy at some point in time to be able to get things in order to make a run. Okay, so let me ask you guys my last question, okay? So inside the comment box, yes or no, do you think that Alabama could make a true run at the national championship still? And I know you're coming off a loss, 3-touchdown loss, that hurt last night, but deep in your heart, do you think that Alabama could still make a run? Let me know inside the comment box with a yes or a no. Give you just a few more seconds. Man, looking at it, I'm like, it's going to be tough. This first matchup is a tough draw. Norman is going to be rocking. It's going to be freezing over there. That defense is going to be coming at him. And you know what? I'll give them some reverse rat poison. If the offense can't get going, they're going to be challenged once again. But if they're healthy and they can come back to that time of possession mindset, then maybe Alabama can make a run. And I'd love to see them play Indiana, right? Sometimes you got to be careful what you wish for, but still, they're in the playoffs. So Kyle Henderson, Bama Football on YouTube. I appreciate you guys. Get inside the comment box. Let me know your confidence level in Alabama beating Oklahoma. Thanks for watching right here on Bama Football on YouTube. Okay, that's just my cut. Now I'm here. All right, I'll take a couple calls, and then we'll kind of go back and forth about college football playoff rankings. All right, just give me 2 seconds while I do some back end work. Whew, man, it's gonna look. Alabama's got a tough spot for sure. I mean, Oklahoma's going to be super challenging. They've had time to rest. Then you have Indiana, who will have time to rest, and I think is just clearly playing at some of the best football in college football, right? Their quarterback has been outstanding. All right, I'm going to publish it. All right, give me 1 second, fam, and then I'll take your guys' calls. Appreciate it. All right, fam. I take a couple more calls as well right here on the broadcast. You guys can let me know your initial thoughts to Bama making the college football playoff rankings. Ask questions if you have them. We'll go to a 337. Hey, David, thanks for being patient, man.
Hey, ain't no problem. Roll Tide, never a doubt. Yet a game was, not like I wanted last night. But you know how we get all nervous when we see Talty walk on the field? It's the same way lately with Ty, with the interceptions and stuff like that, But if you really think about it, Georgia really didn't do much. It was just a field position, a block punt, interception, backed up on our backed up by the end zone area, So it was and it's hard to beat, the same team twice in a year. So I believe that if we can get the offense rolling and everything, and I'm not going to put all the blame on Ty nor the offensive line. I was watching a video. I can't think of his name, but he used to play for Alabama. Very well known. He's an older man. He said he watched it. He said our offensive line is actually one of the best in the country. but they just move so many times, subbing them in, subbing them out, as well as the play calling is what's kicking us in the butt. He said, when you got 8 defenders lined up over your line and you want to run the ball, that's not a run play. That's a pass play, and it's just Grubb. He's just making these stupid play calls, and it's just kicking us in the butt, But I hope we can get everything lined out. We have a week. We'll have a week off.
Yeah. So I was telling everybody inside the comment box. I have the playoff dates on the other side. But Alabama, just so you guys can write it in your calendar, the first round games are there's one game on Friday night, December 19th, and then 3 other games. I don't know if the times have been determined yet. Are on Saturday, December 20th. So one is on Friday night, and then the rest are on Saturday. In case you were wondering.
3 and 4. That's good. That gives us enough time to try to get everybody healthy. Get some good play calls going. I mean, whenever I was in the military and whenever I was in law enforcement and everything, my assistant chief and my drill sergeants, they'd always say, KISS. And the acronym for that is keep it simple, stupid.
Yep.
And that's what Ryan Grubb needs to do. Keep it simple. If you got a run game and get a run game going and our offensive line can open up some holes, if we're getting 3 yards a carry, and it's 3rd and 2, and you're averaging about 3 yards on your carries, how hard is it not to run a ball? Quit throwing the ball on a 3rd down and 2. Get like I said before, put Proctor or somebody in the backfield. Don't hand it off to him, but just get him as a lead blocker to push some of these guys out of the way, and he can easily push, some guys 2 or 3 yards down the field to get you the first down. I mean, they used to do that with Refrigerator Perry back in the day. Why can't we do that now? Keep it simple. Try to move the ball. Defense, I'm not worried about our defense. Our defense has been playing lights out. Yeah, we do give up a few busted plays from time to time. But other than that, our defense can play with anybody in the country. Anybody in the country. It's just our offense has got to get some momentum and start moving. And I hope get us being in the playoffs will put a fire under.
Hey, let me
Grubb and everybody else.
Yeah, I appreciate it, David. I have to tell the fam something. So I appreciate you calling in, man. Thanks for calling in. Call again next time.
All right, brother.
Yep, take it easy.
God bless.
Yep. All right, so we have an updated playoff bracket. We have the times and dates officially in for Alabama and Oklahoma. Alabama and Oklahoma will be playing Friday night at 7 p.m. against Oklahoma. Wow. And then the winner of that game will be playing Indiana at the Rose Bowl. Wow. And then the winner of that game will go on to the Peach Bowl in Atlanta, and then the championship game will be where's the I think the championship game's at Miami. Okay, so again, Alabama versus Oklahoma Friday night. Wow. All right. Here's the official date right here. Wow, look at this. What do we think of this? Okay, so here are the dates. I'll read them off real quick in case you can't see it. James Madison. playing Oregon, December 20th. That's a Saturday, 7 Eastern time, TNT. Wow, you can watch that game on HBO Max. Is anybody watching games on HBO Max? No, I'm like dead serious. Turn on HBO, the college football game's on. Doesn't that sound weird? All right. Alabama, Oklahoma, Friday night under the lights. Wow. 7 p.m. Central Time on ESPN Deportes. Just kidding. It's on regular ESPN. All right, you got Tulane taking on Ole Miss. That game is December 20th at 2:30 Central Time on HBO Max. It sounds weird. And then Miami taking on Texas A&M December 20th. That game is at 11 a.m. on ESPN. Okay, and then the quarterfinals. You have the winner of Alabama and Oklahoma playing in the Rose Bowl. All right, which will be on January 1st. So that's the schedule. So if you're making plans, I will say this: went out to the Rose Bowl a couple years ago. Good experience. It's like in my opinion, it's like a one-time thing. Going to LA is a lot expensive trip across the country. To getting to Pasadena, I didn't see the Rose Bowl, like the actual parade. It's a lot. Getting out there is tough. So yeah, we'll see. All right, but let's take a couple more calls and then we'll peel out and we'll kind of let all the dust settle in. All right, 352. Hey, thanks for calling in. You're online with Kyle Henderson. Who am I online with and where are you calling from?
What's up, Kyle? This is Ross calling in from Orlando. How you doing, man?
Hey, what's up, man? Your volume's way too low. It's like you gotta turn it like it. If it was like a volume from like better? 1 to 10, that was like a 2.
Oh, okay, but it's part of my earpiece, man. I've been working out. Probably done sweated it out a little bit.
It's all good. I get it.
Yeah, how you been, Kyle?
I've been good.
Have a good Thanksgiving.
Yeah, and I appreciate you asking, but think about all the good things that have happened to Bama. You know what I'm saying? I get it.
Oh, yeah.
You got punched in the teeth. Last night was bad. But if you kind of collectively look, you're a playoff team, number 2 recruiting class. Still, you look at the bracket. Another shot at Oklahoma. In life, you don't get a lot of opportunities to get like a rematch against somebody, and especially in college football. So I think Alabama's excited for this opportunity. There's huge challenges because that defense is nasty. Like, think about this. The last game that the two teams played, R. Mason Thomas didn't even play, which is terrifying. If he's healthy, that's scary. Right. He's one of the best defensive players in the entire country. So, anyways, man, welcome to the show. Give me some thoughts, man.
Yeah, I think Alabama is very deserving. We just got to get them healthy. I want to blame the loss last game against Georgia on all the rat poison that was put out there saying that Alabama couldn't beat Georgia when you had Georgia, what's his name, the quarterback, he's playing the best he done played.
Gunnar Stockton, yep.
They're the highest trending team, so I don't understand where that narrative came from that Georgia couldn't beat Alabama. But, I'm glad they made the playoffs. But what's up with Tulane? I was at the Ole Miss and Tulane game. Ole Miss beat them 45-10. 45-10. And they go to the playoffs over Vanderbilt. Like, come on, man. We got to do something about that. But I'm just happy Bama made it. That's all I got to say, man.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. Thanks for calling in, man. And I'll call again next time, man. We have more time. We can kind of let all the dust settle.
Next time it's fast money, Kyle.
Yeah,
you ready for me?
We'll do some. We can do a quick little fast money. Do you have any fast money questions?
Okay, quick fast money. Okay.
Yeah. All right, so let me set the stage. Usually we have, a couple of fast money questions that are asked. So I give you a second to think about something. And it started because we were doing Family Feud, and then we got caught to fast money. So fast money, you asked me in the spot, and I have to answer. So go ahead, man.
All right, so here we go. Most underrated player on Bama team.
I already missed the first question. Okay.
Okay, we'll come back to it.
No. Okay, I'll go Yanzi Pierre.
Okay, what's deeper between the SEC and the Pacific Ocean?
Give me SEC.
That's what I'm talking about. More important player, Cam Calhoun or Jaden Roberts?
Jaden Roberts.
Jaden Roberts got to be better. Hey, one last one. Dreamland or Full Moon, man?
Oh, Full Moon.
Yeah, Full Moon, hands down. I'm with you on that.
And you know what? Because the last time we went to Dreamland, they didn't have ribs. It was the craziest thing I've ever seen. But Full Moon.
How they don't have ribs?
I know. But I will say this. Look, the Dreamland banana, what is it? Banana pudding that they have? Oof, man, that is serious. But Full Moon, they load you up, and they have that white barbecue sauce. So, yeah, Full
That's
Moon.
My favorite.
Yeah,
Alabama barbecue. Yeah.
Thanks for the fast money, man. I probably got like 15 points on that. So that wasn't.
Yeah, we got to work on that.
Yeah, that wasn't my best performance.
Next time
man.
I have some better questions.
No. That was on me, man. All right, man. See you later, bro. Call again next time.
All right, thank you, man. Thank you for having me.
All right, we got. Let's see. Super chat came in. Daniel, what's up, dog? Kyle, I love the work that you do. Just want to say, bless you. Hey, I really appreciate it, man. Thank you so much. Will our players that didn't play because of injury be back for the Oklahoma game? I think so. I think that, as Coach Kalen DeBoer was saying, most of these players that were injured should be back for that game. I can get, maybe a couple updates on, a couple of the guys, but it seemed like listening to Coach Kalen DeBoer last night, he's really optimistic that this amount of time up until December 19th, which gives you some good amount of time to get, healthy or whatnot, they should be able to be going. I know, think about this, like Josh Cuevas, he was a game time decision. You would imagine by the 19th, he's good to go. Jam Miller, it seems like he was questionable, maybe close to playing, so he's good. Defensive side, I think some guys maybe got a little banged up last night. Most important one is like Xavier Brown, Quay Rusaw, if he was, a little dinged up. So I think if you get maybe even those 4 that I said, plus LT Overton, you're straight. So we'll see. But I appreciate the super chat. Thank you so much. I really, really appreciate that. All right, take a couple more calls. We got 205. Hey, you're on line with Kyle Henderson. Who am I line with and where are you calling in from?
Steven, I'm calling from Jacksonville, North Carolina. Roll Tide.
Roll Tide, man. Welcome on in. Come with it.
All right. What do you think? First off, I almost ripped the TV off watching the Alabama game against Georgia, but what do you think about if Alabama was at 10 and kicked Miami out and put Texas at that 9 spot since they beat A&M and lost by 7 to that Ohio State?
Yeah, I don't know. Kind of hard to kind of like go to rewind mode on that. I started doing my research, which started early in the week. I just felt like it would have been a travesty for Notre Dame to make the playoffs, being that they lost to Miami head to head. You know what I'm saying? It's like, was Notre Dame playing better football than Miami? Yeah. I would say so, but like that head-to-head, I could never get past that head-to-head. That's why, and I didn't listen to Hunter Yurachek, like why he said that all of a sudden Miami just passed Notre Dame, but I think it was the right thing to do. What else you got, man?
That was it. I was just wondering, too, do you think Texas should have been in instead of Miami?
That's actually, I really like that question. I would have to go off like the principles to see kind of how they did fare like side by side. Oh man, that's tough. I think the real team that should have got in was probably Vanderbilt. But the thing that kept Vanderbilt out was the fact that they lost to Texas, right? So they finished behind them, and I think with Texas having 3 losses, that kept them out as well. And then you take in Miami. So look, Texas and Vanderbilt definitely, could have been considered for playoff type teams, but just because of where they fell in the SEC, they're out. But I appreciate the call, man. Thanks for calling in.
Yep. Take care.
All right, 864. Hey, thanks for calling in. You're on line with Kyle Henderson. Who am I on line with and where are you calling in from?
Hey, what's up, Kyle? How you doing, man? It's Keith from South Carolina.
Hey, what's up, Keith? I appreciate you calling in, man. Come with it. Welcome to the show.
Roll Tide, man. So I'm just thinking based off I'm kind of surprised. I thought Alabama would probably be at like 11, but hey, they got in, man. I think a lot of people are just out there hating because, we got embarrassed last night versus Georgia, which I kind of seen that coming because the offense has no creativity, no spark. The play calling is not it, and people don't understand. Which I've never been high on Ty Simpson. The whole time he's been at Alabama. He's been on the bench for 3 years. He sat behind Jalen Milroe. He couldn't beat out Jalen Milroe for 2 years. And I feel like I know Kalen DeBoer wasn't going to do it, but he should have pulled the plug yesterday. He should have put the freshman in or tried the other guy, the 6'6" guy. But Ty Simpson, this Alabama team is going to go as far as Ty. And no matter how good the defense plays, if Ty Simpson doesn't play better, we're going to get beat.
Yeah, and I think, as I was thinking about this, at least in my opinion, I think that they didn't switch out a quarterback yesterday because it would have looked like a desperation type look, like late in kind of the playoff ranking. committee, but I do feel that if we get in, now that we're moving forward, if Ty can't get it going, at least in my opinion, I honestly feel that we will see for the first time DeBoer make a move at the quarterback position. I mean, he's got to because I feel
like you got to.
Yeah,
you got to push the ball down the field.
It's do or die.
Not like Alabama doesn't have weapons on offense.
And Alabama has
people keep saying Ryan Williams is falling off. They're not using him. They're not even trying to use him.
And let me ask you this. Like last night when you watched Ohio State and Indiana, did you feel that each of those quarterbacks could challenge you vertically? Hell yeah. They made great – they challenged vertical. Anything over 35 yards, they were challenging and they completed passes. Alabama is – like that is a weak spot for them right now. Like that they just have no vertical game.
I don't know if it's a situation kind of like when Jalen Hurts was here – and they didn't trust him, so it's like just make the smart play. But you got gamers. You got Horton.
Yeah.
You got Ryan Williams. You got Jeremy Bernard. And the guy that switched, what was his name? That switched from corner to wide receiver.
Jalen Mbakwe.
What was the purpose of him?
Mm-hmm.
What was the purpose of switching him to offense? And we got these running backs. Like, I don't know. I think A.K. Deere might be the fastest person on the team. Why is he not getting touches? And I tell you, Jam, he was great earlier in his career, but he's done. I feel like they just need to sit him down. He's going to the NFL, probably going to try to prep for the NFL. He's ran scared all year. He had a couple good runs against Auburn. But what do you think? Like, I've been an Alabama fan 20 years, man. What is going on? Why can't we run the ball? It's really starting to get to a point where it's pissing me off.
Yeah, look, the running game. It was like the committee was like, you guys got to run the game and got to run the ball, and they went reverse. Having -3, and a lot of that is because Ty was sacked or whatever. But they still like no big runs by Daniel Hill, no big runs by A.K. Deere. They had to go away from the run last night because they were behind.
But you got to stick with it. This guy's 250 pounds. Just like the first drive when Alabama got the ball. He got 6 yards. It's 3rd and 2. You're trying to run a reverse. That might work against another team, but not against Georgia. They got so much speed on the perimeter. Give the ball right to him again. Yeah. If they stop you with 2 yards, okay, we punt. But you got to at least – it's like when they get good runs, they go and Grubb calls a BS pass play or some type of play that takes 15 seconds to develop.
Hey, man, I appreciate it.
I think the defense, man, the defense been playing. I just think they've been on the field. They was on the field too much yesterday. And it's a lot of things that they're missing, fundamentals. Like, I tell people this all the time. Just like when Georgia scored, I believe it was their first touchdown, Bray Hubbard was supposed to follow the motion man. The man is in motion. He's still standing right there. Like, it's a lot of fundamentals they're missing. So I think if they get it rolling and Ty can get – I think it's a confidence thing with Ty. He's overthinking things. I feel like if he can get his confidence going, and we need to start getting some screens, some jet sweeps to Ryan Williams and the playmakers. Just don't be trying to make the big play all the time. Just move the ball and the defense play enforcing turnovers. Alabama can make some noise. I would like our chances to beat Oklahoma because I went to the game when we played Oklahoma. Those turnovers doomed us. So if we play Bama football, don't turn the ball over. Take care of the ball. Play good defense. Get some type of running game going and some explosive plays, man. I think we can go far in the playoffs. I didn't even say we're gonna win a championship, but I think I like us against anybody. If we play good ball.
Yeah, thanks for the call, man. I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much. Good call. All right. Yeah, good call from South Carolina. Hey, fam, I appreciate you guys. If I didn't get to your call, don't hold it against me. I got my daughter's performance here coming up at the top of the hour. So a lot of moving parts right here on Bama Football on YouTube. Stay tuned for more news as it happens. Alabama football is in the playoffs. You know, I got a lot of content, and we keep on moving. And, of course, stay tuned for Wake Up Bama at 4 a.m. in the morning, and then, of course, live on Monday at 10 a.m. But I'll probably be back again later on today with some more observations about the playoffs, or maybe just about Alabama's play in general, because I think we still need to dig into that following last night's 21-point loss. But I hope you guys enjoyed this presentation. Put every single thing I got from my heart into each show. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching. Enjoy the good news. All right, Alabama in the playoffs. All right, that is better than what happened last night. So sleep on the latest, and I'll catch you guys right here.